We are not born legends. We are not born being faithful or strong. It's years of His power, His mercy. It changes us into something more. Someone who serves, someone who gives, and someone who refuses to quit. This is the story how weakness is made strong. This is our story, and we want to share it with you.
I was born in Mildred, Georgia. My family were Dorothy and Floyd Addison. I graduated high school in 1944, and then I met and married my husband in 1948. And in 1949, we moved from Moultrie to Pennsylvania and then to New York. During the time that I was married, I had just had enough. And so I came home to Moultrie, and the children were 6 and 4, and we stayed here for 3 months. I decided that I knew that I had to go back to New York to try again to see if I could make things right. And we took a bus trip to New York, and he met us, but he determined that I had left him, and that was the end of our marriage. And it was. I found a job. They offered me minimum wage, $60 a week. After that job, I went to the Teen Challenge Home for Girls in Garrison, New York. It was a traumatic time for me to leave, because I had to leave my house up for sale and travel 75 miles up the Hudson River to the home. And during the time that I was there, I was assistant office manager, but the girls were with us for 12 months after spending 2 months in an induction center. And these induction centers were throughout the states, and then they came to us. At graduation times, I invited the girls that were graduating to my apartment, one room, to sit down and have breakfast with me. John Benton was the head of the ministry, and I don't know when he started, but he wrote books about the girls and the program and their testimonies. And these are books that, of course, the names are different, but of their lives and their testimonies of how the Lord helped them. From the royalties of the books, he sent the entire staff to the Holy Land. And it was a new experience for me, because I had only been back and forth to Georgia. I planned a trip to Honduras with Johnny and Anna Ray, and it was an exciting time. We had gone to some town, and we were on our way home, and night fell, and we had a flat tire. And then we had another flat tire, and we were on the road there. We spent the night in the car, and then the next morning we were met by the director of the home where we were, and we were told later that there were thieves that came along, that traveled those roads. So it was an exciting time, but I really enjoyed the ministry there. The kids were great, and they started calling me Abuelito, which is grandmother, and it was good. I moved back to Moultrie in 2009, and I was at loose ends, but I had worked volunteered in a hospital in Greer, South Carolina during the years that I was there. So I went down to our hospital, and I put in an application to work there. And I started 10 years ago, and just recently at a banquet I received my 3,500 hour pin. After I started at the hospital, a friend introduced me to the museum, and so I started working Saturdays for them, and I've been there 10 years. And in 2017 I broke my hip, but it was actually my leg, because the leg broke just below the ball, and they had to put, I have a rod in my leg from the hip to the knee. After the hip surgery, the doctor told me I couldn't drive for 9 months. And so I had started working at the storehouse. I was volunteering at the hospital. And the staff of the hospital and the volunteers at the storehouse, during that 9 months, they did my transportation to and from the doctor, which was a great blessing to me. But I've been at the storehouse where nobody could tell me when I started. At the age of 90, they gave me a birthday party, and they invited a slew of people, and they all came to celebrate with me. It was a wonderful experience. I'm so grateful to be a part of the storehouse and to be able to send out people on mission trips and to do things that they ordinarily could not do.
Mildred is very humble, but she is very bold in her faith. She's one of those ladies that speaks a sermon without opening her mouth. Mildred's presence in the storehouse means so much to all of us who work here with her. She has been through some falls and maybe even some surgeries. It doesn't matter if it's raining, storming, heat, cold. Mildred's going to be here because she fulfills her commitment to us at the storehouse. I think as a person, Mildred is a friend to me. I can talk with her. I can share with her. She shares snippets of her life that give me a different baseline, if you will. I can be thinking along one line, and then I will hear Miss Mildred's story, and it changes my perspective. And she's just a friend to me.
From the first day that I heard that Mildred was being honored, words began to wash through my mind. Words like diligent, dedicated, dependable, even dutiful, that made it delightful to have her working in my office. Determined, always determined. Determined to finish, and to finish well. Whatever task, whatever assignment, whatever commitment, she never left it undone. Then difficulties, difficult seasons, the one that I walked with her through and witnessed the grace that was on her when her beautiful daughter Jackie, that was so precious to her, had cancer and then passed away. And Mildred found the grace to walk through that season, determined to come through triumphant and without bitterness. And I can tell you that 25, 26 years later, 1,000 miles away, here in Lima, New York, in our office, the marks of Mildred's dedication, diligence, and determination to finish well, they're still here. Mildred, I bless you, I love you, and I know you will finish well.
I thank God for everything that He's done for me. He has led me in paths that I didn't know about, but in paths that have led me for a deeper relationship with the Lord. And if you don't know the Lord, make a place for Him and make a decision that can determine the rest of your life and give you a ministry of your own, whether it be in teaching, volunteering someplace like I do. Keep on keeping on. At 65, I thought that's a normal retirement age. Well, heavens, I worked for Sylvia, I worked for Hope House, I've just been a worker, and I've loved it. And now that I'm 92, I haven't given up yet. I really have a full schedule with my 3 days of volunteering. Plus I go to Bible study on Mondays. But I exhort you to say, don't retire at 65 and while away the hours with silly things that don't make any difference, but make a difference for the Lord in this time. When retirement age comes, we think life is kind of on the downhill, but it isn't. For us that love the Lord, we want to serve Him in any way that we can. Find your place and your place of work and ministry for the Lord. Make a fulfillment of your life and make it count for God. Make it count for something.